G35 today. And specifically, we're gonna do a wire tuck for these headlight wires, as well as the horn, and basically all the sensors, like this airbag sensor, that connect to this side and this side. Take the front bumper off to get to those connections, as well as the fender. The tape that we're gonna be using to relume the wires is this Tesa tape. It's used on a lot of German engines, and as you can see, it's almost like vinyl felt-like tape. It's very heat resistant, and it will be good. It'll make the wires look a lot cleaner. And I mainly got it because I want to eventually redo this entire engine harness. I'm gonna be swapping in a new motor here pretty soon, and I just want this to be basically tucked away. I don't like how the wire shows right here, but that will be in a different video. I'm also gonna be putting back my AC belt because I took it off during the winter because it was squeaking, but now it's almost spring and I'm gonna be needing the AC here pretty soon. This is what we got here. Just got the regular Fram oil filter. Hopefully this is the last time I have to change the oil before I put the new motor in. 5W30 full synthetic. Then here's all the things we're gonna be using to do the wire tuck. So just some heat shrink tubing, just in case I gotta splice into any wires. I also got these little grommets here. Both of these are from Harbor Freight. They're pretty cheap, like $5, but I got some miscellaneous sized zip ties. And here's the tape again. And then this is just some soldering stuff. I got some extra wire and some regular electrical tape and some butt connectors if I need those. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna jack the car up. Probably change the oil and do all that stuff. Just time lapse that. You guys know how to do that. Then we'll pull the fenders off, the bumper, and then we'll start with the wire tuck. Drained. One of the things I thought was just how much oil we actually got out of this thing. As you can see, it's right at 3 quarts, so it's 2 quarts low. The thing is supposed to have 5 quarts. So this thing's pretty much leaking out of every spot it possibly can besides the valve covers. I did those recently. So I'm gonna be happy to get the new motor in here and not have to worry about any leaks. But as for now, I'm gonna explain exactly what we're doing. So let's take a look at this fender right here. So we're gonna take this off, and what I'm planning on doing is taking this harness and basically wrapping it behind this fender so it goes like this, and then it snakes back out right here so that you don't see this area at all and you don't see any ugly wire looms that look like that. Same thing goes for this. It'll be snuck somewhere in here like I mentioned before. Ran along here, then it'll come back out right here, right in that hole right there, and then it'll plug into everything. That's why I was thinking maybe I might need to splice into some wires. That's why I got the heat shrink. I also got a soldering iron, and let's just go ahead and get into it. I kind of want to start with this side over here. For some reason, this is missing a little grommet or something that's supposed to push it in, and I actually have those from the other G35. Somewhere in this bundle is that part So I'll have to find that, and let's go ahead and get started. Now you can kind of see what I'm talking about. As you can see, the bolt that was behind the door was right here. All you gotta do is get a wrench in, open the door, and get it from this way. And then for down here, I disconnected, see, 5 bolts that hold down here. I think it was somewhere right there where I stopped. You don't gotta go all the way. And then there are 2 bolts right here. Everything's a 10mm. These were the 2 that went right here and right there. And then this one was up here. Then you pretty much pull it off. There's also another bolt I didn't mention that's holding in to the headlight right here. I think this is, yep, this is part of the headlight. So now I can take a look at this, see if I need to drill any holes, which I think let's see. I'm probably gonna try to use this one right here. If I can, I might have to move the battery. Also, there is a ground wire too, right here, that I'll have to find a new ground spot for. You can see the washer fluid, how it kind of just runs along here. I'm gonna follow that. And also I'm gonna clip it in here with the washer fluid clips. And pretty much just follow how it goes. And go ahead and start pulling the connectors off. I might have to disconnect the headlight too. Let's see, this one goes completely to the headlight, that's it. This is the blinker thing that I'm not using, I just have it plugged in. Once I paint the, once I get the engine out, I might just try and weld those in so there's not a hole there, so it looks nice. The reason I'm doing all this is just so that, I mean, the main thing is so that it looks nicer in the engine bay. And then also, once I put the new engine, I want it to be as smooth as possible, no wires in the way or anything. I want the wiring harness just to lay right in. With the intake off, just put it on and click it in. It's just as easy as that. Another thing I'm going to be doing with the other engine is I'm going to be deleting this crossover pipe right here. This right here, welding this shut, and then where it connects down here. I'm not 100% sure, but it is almost like it makes it hotter because it doesn't go through the radiator. It recirculates the hot water through again, some of it at least. So I'm going to delete that just to kind of clean it up, make the engine look a little more tidy with less wires, less tubes, and still the same function as it was before. All right, I had to remove a few things because they're in like the, let's see, the coolant overflow and the headlight. And I also had to disconnect the power steering pump a little bit to get some of the connections down there undone. Basically, I have the whole wiring harness unloomed. It's all disconnected right now. One thing I want to do is I want to hold these ground wires back and connect them somewhere back in here, just so it doesn't get too crowded with wires trying to fit through that hole. I think I'll be able to fit all these through though. On this side, it basically has the headlight. This is the hood opener latch. I guess I don't know if I cut this wire when I was unraveling it, but it was disconnected, and I'm not getting the light or anything, so I might just completely delete that. I don't really need that. Let's see, you have the washer fluid, both of these, there's two connectors that go to that. And then you have, this goes to a different connection. It's right there. This, I guess, is just, looks like it goes to the engine wiring harness. And then you have your blinker right here. And then these two wires they have a thicker gauge wire, they go to the fans. So that's pretty much all you have for this side. Use the Tesa tape that I got and start raveling this stuff up. I'm gonna go ahead and tape these ground terminals together so I can hold these back so they don't go through the hole. And then the rest of the stuff is gonna go through. So I went ahead and cut the hood opener latch that tells you if your hood is open. I went ahead and just cut that connector off and just tape the ends with some electrical tape. That way they won't get any kind of moisture in them or get any kind of connection that could cause an issue. Another thing I did that I'm not 100% sure on if it's gonna work, this ground right here that I wired up. By the way, this tape is awesome. It's like super thick. It's definitely strong. No rats or anything are gonna be able to chew through that super strong tape. But I just connected it right here. Originally, this is an aftermarket ground cable. Mine broke off about right here. It was getting kind of sketchy, so I just got a new one. And then I just had this bolted in here, had nothing on it. Then I just connected these grounds up here, and I think that will work. I don't know why it wouldn't. I think it would have the best connection straight to the battery. So I think that will work even better than factory. I don't know why they have so many ground cables. I don't know if I'm missing something, but I got the harness through right now and just got to wire it up. I can already tell it's going to be pretty short because the headlight is way back here. So I'm going to have to do some soldering, and I'll get back with you guys. Got the headlight switch, or not headlight, just the headlight connector all wired up. Just connected some black wire. It's all 18 gauge. There we go. And I just kind of estimated how long I needed it. So let's see right there, and I'm gonna route it underneath here, and then it'll be able to plug in longer than I probably need it, but that's fine. Better to be longer than shorter. Update here. It's already started to get dark, And the work was getting a little bit repetitive, so I did a lot of things off camera, but I lengthened this wire. So you're gonna have to lengthen every wire by about a foot at the minimum, at least on this side. These are the fans, and they look like they might be 16 gauge wire, but the rest of them are 18 gauge. So I'll see if, I'm not 100% sure, these might still be 18 gauge. Once I splice into them, I'll know. But if they are, I'm gonna have to run to Walmart and get some 16 gauge, because all I have is 18. I ended up settling for some 12 gauge, which is fine. I just didn't want to go 16 gauge or anything smaller than that, just because the fans, they need as much amperage as possible to run properly. So it's the next day. I went ahead and finished it up. Got it all zip tied where I need it. The only zip ties I have is right here, and I think that's it actually. Just to kind of attach the washer fluid line to that. I got the blinker zipped up because I'm not using that right now, so I'm just gonna keep that right there. Headlight, gotta plug that in. This is actually, I made this wire perfect length. It goes straight to that connection right there. You can see, perfect length. The washer fluid lines come down here. See right here, 2 of them. Let me turn my flash on. So you can see one connects to this pump right here at the top, then the other comes down here. I had to zip tie this one because I made it a little bit too long. Let's see, and then you got the fan lines. That big wire that goes down there. The one I had there, it's 14 gauge. I had to solder the 12 gauge to it because that's all that Walmart had. And I have it running down here, and then right through that little slot right there. I think that's where it stays from the factory. And I have it plugged in from there. And this broke off. It was already broken off, but I think it goes something right there. Not 100% sure. Yeah, anyways, that's what it's like so far. I really like this tape. It's pretty heavy duty. You can tell when you try to cut it super thick. But I think that will be good. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting everything back together how it was. I have the battery connected and everything pretty much wired back up. Now, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the car in diagnostic mode. And so what this does is it will basically go through its whole testing phase, and it will turn the fans on, the wipers, and the headlights. I'll be able to make sure that all my connections work. So the way that you do that is you take your key, turn it to the on position, so right here, so all the way till where it stops. And then while you do that, you have to be really quick with it. Press this door thing 10 times, and then turn it completely off, and then turn it back to the on position, all within 10 seconds. So Go ahead and do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it honks. And now we're in it right now. So yeah, the wipers are going. Now we get the lights. Make sure all the little LEDs are working. High beams. Not sure what that is, but it's testing something. Fans are going. Now it's going through the same phase again, so we're good. Got the whole right side buttoned up here. Got the fender on and everything. Got it all aligned. See, the old wire ran through here, split this power steering reservoir. Here's a little before, and here's the after. Looking a lot cleaner in this engine bay. No more ground wires, just randomly placed. Got them all secured directly to the negative battery terminal back in there. So that's all good now. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the right side, taking this headlight off, taking the fender off, and remember peeling the side screw back a little bit so we can get those 2 bolts that are down there. And then this wire runs through here, through the intake. There's a ground wire right there I need to take care of. I might match it up with that one right there. And looks like the wire comes, after it comes off the headlight, comes down here, then it wraps around the radiator support and then goes to, this is a airbag sensor, the 2 horns, and this is something for the AC condenser, and then not exactly sure what this is. I did go ahead and tear the old wiring harness off of the old parts. I should have done this for the other side too, but I pretty much just chopped it off right here. And now I have the whole harness, and I'll be able to match up all the wires perfectly. It should be a lot smoother now that I have the exact gauge wires and the exact color wires. Got everything unloomed. So I'm thinking for this, instead of going through this hole right here, which I could probably do it, but it would just be a mess anytime I had to change my master cylinders. It'd just be right in the way. So I'm thinking about unlooming this a little bit farther down and then going through this hole right here, which it's gonna be hard to show you guys, but it's right in here. And then I'll be able to snake it up here and then run it with the cable that unlocks the hood. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel some of this back and just kind of relume it, make it look nice. Everything pretty much spliced in to the length that I need it. As you can see, all right there, I got it just plugged in right now. I'm just gonna make sure both the horns work and everything I spliced in works. So the key's already in it. Turn it on, make sure I get no airbag light. Now we're gonna test the horns. Damn, it's loud. All right, seems like the horns work. Well, it's finally done. Let me show you it from the beginning. It used to come up over here. Now we kind of cut that little tab off that was holding the wire together. And then we routed it down all the way to the hole down there. Right down there. That's all the work that we've done. And then it comes out over here. Then I made this little ground. I tested it and everything works. Then I routed it with the hood opener cable. Goes along here. It's gonna be hidden behind the headlight over here. And then as you can see, this is for the turn signal. I'm not using that on mine, so I have that zip tied up. Headlight, that's for another little connector down there. And then I got these like special zip ties that have the little plug that like plugs into the things. You can get them from AutoZone for like $5 or whatever. Get like 25 of them. So I got one there. And I got another one right here. And it goes along. It basically covers the same path as it did before. Comes out over here. Then I got two of them right here holding it in. Another one behind the power steering. Right there. Then it goes up. You get the airbag sensor. Then it Y's off. Got a couple more clips right here and here. And then basically you got the ground and the power. It's just one wire going to each. You got that for the horns. This is for the AC condenser. Oh, that wasn't plugged in. Okay, that's in now. And then you got this one little plugged in here. So if you don't have the old wiring harness, you're gonna need 18 gauge wire. You're gonna need some heat shrink, obviously, and then a lot of the rosin core. If you're soldering these, I would recommend doing that just for longevity. Other than that, this is what the engine bay looks like. a lot more cleaner without these wires dangling off on the sides. You still got this one. I'm eventually going to change that, but I need to get I need to figure out what gauge wire that is and then get a connector so that way it can crimp together, and find a way to basically crimp that wire to make it longer to extend it down here. But other than that, that's looking pretty clean. Once I get this other side all done, I'm gonna get the brake cover for this side, and then it'll be looking pretty clean. I'm gonna be doing this whole wiring harness, tucking that and everything, so you literally don't see anything. But I'm gonna put the bumper and the fender back on off camera. You guys have already seen me do that, so I don't think I need to do that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and subscribe if you want to see more G35 content. And that's it. Hope you liked the video.